Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Kwadash, Mama. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharawan, Banyasha Allah, of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, our wife and children that believe in truth and in sincerity. I want to start off in the book of Psalms, chapter 75 and verse 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly. Right, so deal not foolishly. And to the wicked, lift not up the horn, Salakia. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck, right? Speak not with a stiff neck. But our people, they speak proudly to things that they know of not. You know, they haven't, ultimately when you come against something, it's ultimately out of fear or not knowing. That's why the scriptures speak on what let every man be accountable for what every idle word. So we have to tread lightly when it comes to the knowledge of the Lord, when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to the book. When it's being presented to you, you have to tread lightly. You have to give an attentive ear. You have two ears and one mouth for that same reason, because you have to listen more than you speak, to get the grasp and the understanding, or to go over your head, because the Lord is complex in a way, but he's logical. And this Matthew 12 and verse 36. What brings the confusion is the philosophy of the world. When people think with a worldly mindset, a westernized mindset, they can't wrap their heads around what the Lord is saying. So again, when our people come against the truth, come against the scriptures or what's being spoken as far as what's written, it's ultimately because they don't have an understanding of it, or they have a fear of it. But this is Matthew 12 and 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Right. So just not scoff. Again, tread lightly. You can't understand it. Try to understand why it's being said and try to put it in perspective. And maybe the Lord will give that increase later on. But when you come against it with something that you feel or something that you have accumulated that you think by way of the world, which the Lord and the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who's a so-called black man, all right, according to the scriptures. You say something that's opposite of him, you're ultimately against him. You're anti him. All right. You don't want to be a contender. You don't want to be an adversary to the truth. So you don't want to come with the philosophies of the world, what you think you may know of accumulated from the study of the world, because the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, don't deal with the knowledge of the world. The knowledge of the world is foolish to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, as the scripture saith. All right. So again, we have to be accountable. We're going to be accountable for every idle word. So we have to make sure, we don't give off a sacrifice of fools, so to speak. And this is the book back in the book of Psalms, chapter 75 and verse 5. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. When you go to that term horn here in Psalms, I had looked it up prior. It went into H7161.
Strong's H, 7161. Keterin.
And it goes into horn of strength, all right? And people look at strength or gain being godliness as far as the worldly sense, and thinking that the Lord is blessing them, or they blessed and highly favored, or they're become holier than thou, when the Lord is not dealing with the worldly knowledge, the strength in a physical sense, in a carnal sense. Again, it's not by might, but through the Spirit, roughly paraphrased. But then again, that term horn, the C definition, flask, it says a container for oil. So they bear the oil that's not needed, because the only oil that's needed is the oil of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the doctrine and truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So again, the definition D, horn, and as musical instrument, You know, so back in Psalms, those who deal foolishly, all right, they lift up the horn. They lift up the sacrifice of fools. They playing the wrong song, the wrong tune. They're offbeat of horn-like projections on the altar, right? Or they'll have horn-like projections on the altar, not solemn-like projections on the altar, you know, so to speak, you know, through the Spirit. You know, so horn-like projections on the altar, you know, given to what? A sacrifice of fools. So speak not with a stiff neck. Verse 6, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, right? But from the heavens, from the north. All right, the north. All right, so you can't represent or stand on doctrines and philosophies of the world, doctrine and philosophies of ancient past captivities, thinking the earth is flat, so on and so forth. Even when it comes to Esau's science, the so-called Caucasian race, all right, they even know that the earth isn't flat. All right, that's why they label it the four hemispheres: northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the western hemisphere, and the eastern hemisphere. All right, ultimately representing what Revelation 7, when the Lord speak on the four corners, he's not speaking on the four corners of the earth as far as the earth is as flat as a sheet of paper. Don't be simple. But our people love simplicity. All right, a sphere. What is a sphere? I believe a sphere is 3D. All right, it's three-dimensional. So it's not flat. All right, again, equating it to even Esau's science, who was falsely is so called. They even have the basis of that, of sphere. Knowing that what the earth is not flat, it's a sphere. All right, in your grade school growing up, you had a globe. All right, again, it's just when people try to take worldly knowledge due to worldly strength, all right, whatsoever they gain in society, to wherever place they have reached in society, whether it's their jobs, their career, their endeavors, wherever the case may be, they have grown in society. So now they think that they can have a say so, just as Esau. Just as the book of Obadiah states, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, pertaining to Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. All right, the descendants of the progenitor of their race being Esau, all right, Edom. That their pride think that they can add and take away from the scriptures. All right, what the last chapter and the very last verse of the scriptures, right? Revelations 22:18 on down. All right, any man add on to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai and take it away from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to add those plagues and take away your name out of the book of life. All right, so who's going to be the mighty men then, other than those who's dwelling in the secret place of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, calling upon his name in a low and a meek and a contrite spirit, not of those who are boasting, thinking that there can be an author of their own salvation or can save themselves. This is verse 6, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another, right? The Lord chooses and dictates who's on top, who's going to win, who won and who lost. Because right now, when it comes to this road of salvation, none of us are saved. We're all winning. We're winning when we're in this truth. All right, but we haven't won. So again, the Lord chooses who wins and who loses. That being said, I want to get the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of a host, but strength coming from heaven, right? Strength coming from the north, from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, from heavens, right? So the victory don't come from a multitude of a host, what you have a company upon yourself, strength. All right, what you have gain carnally and stand for carnally is not going to suffice in the day of the Lord. What happens when the said perils that's written in the scriptures come to pass, like Jacob's trouble, all right, the lamentations, mournings, and woe, all right, the famine, the pestilence. The Lord can give you a pestilence to where a sickness to where you're not so strong and full of strength, to where you're feeble. To where the only thing you're gonna have is the strength of the spirit and what you have built up through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right, in the spirit. So again, the Lord chooses who wins and loses. Not what you bring upon yourself as far as, from man, but from the Lord, all right? Man doesn't dictate anything. But from there, I want to get the book of Psalms, chapter 33, and verse 16. There is no king saved by the multitude of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. You see? An horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength, right? You shouldn't deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine, right? Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield, right? So yeah, bodily exercise is profits little. It don't say that it don't profit at all. It does. It sustains you in the flesh. You can help yourself meet the Lord halfway, so to speak. But again, it's scriptures like what we shall eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles. All right, this is a diabolical demon that we're at war with spiritually, to where he's weaponizing the food, the water. All right, the same water he drinks, the same food he eats, he's weaponizing it to where you're not going to be able to be a vegan when it all hits the fan. You go eat whatever that's available to you, especially those who lack the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. They're going to eat anything. They're going to be scavengers. They're going to be brute beasts. They're going to go into that mindset. Isaiah 33:6 says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Not a host, not carnal and fleshly might, muscles. This is Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So we can only do so much carnally into the flesh. We got to still have and fight for the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Psalms 33, going back to Psalms 33 and 17. And a horse is a vain thing for safety, and ultimately horse representing power. And that can be anything that you put your power and your spiritual allegiance in, to think that that's going to be able to suffice and save you in that day. Nothing will, other than the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Those names, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength, right? Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine, right? Our soul waited for the Lord. He is our help and our shield, for our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, be upon us according as we hope in thee. Right, and that's why it's important to have the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and have hope in thee and stand boldly for those names, because those are the only names that's going to show up and show out, man. All right. But I'm going to end off in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, and I start at verse 6. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? right? A mountain representing governments. Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain, right? Flat, level. And he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it. Moreover, the word of the Lord came, and that's the point I wanted to bring out, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, But Shalom, Habatah, and DTA into the next one.